right? What you did, you embarrassed me in front of some guy, right? That really hurt my feelings, right? And I would prefer if you didn't do that in the future because that's what it did, right? As opposed to when you hurt his feelings, he started acting like he was, flustered and flabbergasted, and he was super upset and this type of thing, stuff that we would normally excuse for women. You would not excuse for him. You would expect him to express this from a stoic angle, right? And just say to you later, look, you wouldn't? You'd want him to break down and be blubbery?
If he was upset about something and he was so upset about it that it made him emotional, then so be it. If I have the ability to be emotional and cry about it, do you think I'm lying to you? Wait, what benefit do I have to lie to you?
Yeah, I don't think any women, I think that's terrible advice for men. Okay. Yeah, I think that saying to men that you would prefer that they acted, in a way where they started to break down emotionally, right? Even especially publicly, or they started to cry, or they started to kind of, in some way break that stoic frame. I think that you would not appreciate it. Any more than you would the anger portion.
That's your narrative. You asked me a question, and I gave you my answer, but because my answer didn't fit your narrative, you didn't like it.
Well, your answer actually your answer is inconsistent, because in the anger portion, you say, I would prefer when he's angry not to express that, right? Why?
I said that was the difference between emotional maturity and emotional stability.
Well, why would that not be emotional maturity when it came to sadness as well?
It could be either way.
Anger is more
You asked me which one I preferred. Obviously, I don't want someone to scream at me.
Yeah, my point is...
But if he screamed at me, then would I be upset about it? We would talk about it.
The expression from a stoic frame of emotion seems to be your preference.
If he can be stoic if he wants to be. You asked me if I preferred to be yelled at or if I preferred to be confronted. Obviously, I'm going to prefer to not be yelled at. Anybody would prefer that. But in terms of emotion and sadness, let me finish what I'm saying. In the term of sadness, if he wants to cry about it, he can cry about it and we can talk about it. If he wants to be stoic, again, that's the person, right? However they want to express their emotional maturity and emotional stability, that's fine. You asked me if I preferred to be yelled at or if I preferred to be confronted.
Well, he's not yelling at you. He's just yelling.
You're still yelling.
Or maybe he's just not even yelling, but he's just really angry when he says a thing. He just says, listen, this really pissed me off. It made me mad. That's not him yelling. He's just expressing this emotion. But it's not a comfortable emotion to express, right?
Your comparison was, that made me fucking angry, or that made me angry. Yeah, obviously, I'm going to prefer not to be yelled at.
But even then, let's go back to, we'll just dial it back, right? We'll dial the yelling back. He's not yelling, but he has an anger in his voice when he's talking to you because you made him angry. Wouldn't you prefer that was gone as well?
No.
And that he just stoically delivered to you that you made him angry and not to do that.
Now you're switching it up.
Preference?
You're switching it up. Your initial comparison
I'm trying to follow your line of logic. That's right.
Right, because it doesn't fit your narrative. That's okay.
Well, what does that mean, fit my narrative? Do you know what logic is?
Yeah.
Okay, if you know what logic is, then tell me the 3 laws of it.
The original thing that Brian asked about vulnerability.
Stop. If you know what logic is, then tell me what the 3 rules of logic are.
I know the general definition of logic. I'm sorry, I don't know the...
Yeah, you don't. So here's the thing, right? Back off on the narrative building. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to walk through whether or not you actually would prefer a stoic frame on a man, ultimately, if we follow your worldview through.
You're switching after I already answered your question. You're switching up your question.
Yeah, that's how I continue to test the logic. That's right.
Okay, and I said that I had already answered based on my understanding of your question. Do I want to be yelled at?
That's why I asked a new one, so I can continue to test the logic.
Okay, so you already got my answer, though, but why are we still talking about the same exact thing? This is the one thing I do really think you're a great speaker, but this is one thing that I don't appreciate about you. You dig at the same thing to get a different answer so that it fits your narrative. To test the logic, yeah.
So what are the 3?
You realize that when you're testing somebody's logical consistency, it may require multiple questions, right?
Yeah, but when it doesn't follow suit with what you believe in,
then so think of it like a tree. That's a logical tree. That's what it's called. So you go down branch 1, and you go, oh, okay, now we understand where that position leads. We go down branch 2, now we know where that position leads. Branch 3, now we know where that position leads. But we're all moving the logic towards whatever the conclusion of the position is. It's not narrative building. It's just me trying to actually figure out your positions. It's not even being mean. I'm just literally trying to figure out your positions.
Right. And I said that I would just prefer someone be emotionally stable and emotionally mature and be able to talk about what they're feeling. If they want to cry about it, that's great.
Right.
If they want
And
to
that's what
scream
we're
about
testing.
it,
That's what
obviously
we're
I would
testing by
prefer
going down
not.
these different. Yeah, that's what we're testing by going down these different branches and questions.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah. So there's a difference between you expressing that is what you want, but then based on answers to questions, it may not actually be. That's why that's occurring. So I mean, I'm fine moving on, but I'm just letting you know.
So I wanted to have a bit of back and forth on this, going back, I guess, to